after Ascension, the next zombies map to come out would be Call of the Dead, and Call of the Dead is a very interesting zombies experience. Now, Black Ops 1 as a whole is very interesting, of course, and it's something I think you have to personally experience. But Call of the Dead has a lot of new features, a lot of cool, and this is a common theme with Black Ops 1, by the way. A lot of the maps have new features, a lot of the maps have a lot of just, new elements added into it. Stuff that will stay, stuff that will go. Anyway, let's get into it. My experience of Call of the Dead. I really like this map. This map is definitely one of the better maps. In fact, most of the zombie maps are really good. There are a couple bad apples though, like Transit, Alpha Omega. Actually, I can't even diss Alpha Omega. I do like Alpha Omega, but there's a few maps which are kind of bad apples. A lot of them are non-Treyarch though. Anyway, Call of the Dead is a pretty good map. Is it one of the better maps of Black Ops 1? Yeah, there's definitely arguments to say it is. But there's also arguments to say that it isn't. Anyway, Call of the Dead came along with some new features. Obviously, there was 2 new wonder weapons in this map. The Scavenger and the VR-11. Now, if I'm correct, I believe the VR-11 is needed for the Easter egg. Yes, Easter eggs return once again. And this time, this is the first map, if I'm correct, where there's an Easter egg version for both multiplayer, so co-op, and solo. I believe solo is literally the same as co-op. They just remove one step, which is the vodka step for Nikolai, because you need 2 players to do that. Obviously, some stuff from Ascension, obviously, don't stick. For example, Double Tap Root Beer was not on Ascension. However, it came back for Call of the Dead. Although Double Tap 1.0 is relatively bad. The MP40 returns after its absence on 5 in Ascension. Shout out to God Ricky for that one. I didn't remember, and all no. The lighthouse. Oh, actually, let's talk about how you get power, right? Because I think power is very interesting. So, you go basically the right side of the map onto the boat, and you got to go to the top of the boat, and you basically open power from there. There's like 3 or 4 doors you have to buy. Once you've done that, the way you actually pack a punch is that the lighthouse on Call of the Dead will go around with this light, and every now and then it will beam into a certain location. I believe those 3 locations are spawn nearby, like the other side of the lighthouse, so nearby the stamina perk, and nearby the ice slide for Speed Cola, and the boat, like the bottom part of the boat where Jug is basically. And if I'm correct, the Pack-a-Punch will stay there for a limited time. I think it's a few minutes. I think it's like 3 or 4 minutes. It's quite a long time, to be fair. But then obviously it goes, and then it will go around again, and then pick the next location, the location after that, and so on and so such. A brand new feature to this map, and we would see this feature kind of return, but in a different way for Moon, is the introduction of George Romero, obviously huge zombies director, was known for making some of the classic zombie films back, 50, 60, 70 years ago. I can't remember, like, was it the 50s? I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, he made some of the classic zombie films. Like, I think, I can't remember off the top of my head what they're called, but yeah, he was involved in this map, and he was a special zombie. And the way you had to actually defeat him is you had to put a certain amount of damage into him, and from doing that, it would kill him. Now, the drops were different compared to, the drops were different compared to, the drops were different. There you go, I'm struggling to speak here. The drops were different based on had you completed the Easter egg or not. You will still get a free pack, regardless if you've completed the Easter egg or not, but if you've completed the Easter egg, you would get the Wonder Waff as the special weapon instead of a death machine. And the Wonder Waff would stay until you basically run out of bullets. Now, George is a lot easier to kill on solo compared to multiplayer, because on solo, he has 250k health, and that is per player. So imagine that times by 4. That's 1 million health. Yeah, he's pretty difficult to kill on multiplayer. Although, a little bit of a fun fact, the Dragunov sniper has a 10 times headshot damage multiplier. So if you want to kill George relatively fast, that's definitely a play. The death machine itself is pretty good to use as well. Although, you would have to basically put all your bullets into George to kill him, and you're not going to guarantee to kill him in one death machine. It'll probably take you 2 or 3. And there's a brand new Perca-Cola known as Deadshot Daiquiri. Now, Deadshot Daiquiri is a very interesting perk, and this perk doesn't work on PC. If you are a keyboard and mouse player, this does not work. This perk is definitely a lot more controller / console based friendly. And basically, it toggles the aim assist to target for the head instead of the body. Now, this could be obviously useful in... Oh, this is actually kind of a useful perk in the later games, especially Cold War, because of its benefits. But for Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, if you get this perk when you still have perk slots left, you're thinking, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, seriously? Like, I could have spent that perk slot on Jug. I could have spent that perk slot... hopefully you have Jug by then. But you would have think, oh yeah, I could have spent that perk slot on Speed Killer, or Double Tap, or Quick Revive. Now, something that happens as well with the map is the weather will change. This is the first time we've ever seen this where the weather will change. Obviously, we see this come back again for the likes of Origins and I think a few other future maps. I don't know if Tag does this, but I know Origins does, where the weather will change from snowing hard to fog to, you know, to nothing like that, to no visibility to kind of affect you. Obviously we see some traps in this game. Actually no, I think this map's actually the only map with no traps, but there's new like not fast travel, but there's new transport ways to get to one side of the map to the other. There's a flinger on the boat, which will take you from the boat, or fling you over from the boat to the lighthouse. And then there's an ice slide that leads to the sickle. I thought the sickle was only available on Ascension. I guess I'm wrong. And Speed Cola. Some cool trivia, I guess, on this map before we end it for today. This map actually takes place in the 2010s. It takes place in 2011. It takes place in modern day, basically. However, the 115 meteorite actually struck in 1908. So it took zombies a little while to, show up. Obviously, the only reason why they showed up is because the Optimus crew were there, and Samantha was trying to deal with the Optimus crew. There's a zombie killer and Orphans poster. Michael Rooker is seen with an AK-47. However, the weapon is not obtainable in the map, and the weapon wouldn't be obtainable until Mob of the Dead. And this is something I forgot to mention, and I'm glad this piece of trivia mentioned to me. This is also another map with a celebrity cast, this time a cast full of celebs. So let's talk about those celebs. We got Sarah Michelle Gellar, Robert Englund, Danny Trejo, Michael Rooker, and of course George Romero as the special boss zombie. This map was actually shown ages ago in Derice as one of the future zombie maps. This is obviously where Derice kind of hinted towards, I believe, Kino, Quarter Dead, and a Paris map, which, as you know, Paris did not happen. Now, do I think Paris should have happened as a map? I think it definitely would have been interesting. But of course, I'm kind of glad it didn't. Now, this is going to be the final fact for this video. In the loading screen for Quarter Dead, you can see the Ascension and Shangri-La loading screens. That was a really cool feature that Black Ops 1 had, is each loading screen was kind of like teasing towards the next map, and it almost made it look like it was a comic book of sorts. Anyway, that's it. Sorry for this video being relatively short. It's not really that short anyway, but Quarter Dead in my opinion is a very fun map. I've thoroughly enjoyed this map over my times of playing. You can probably tell from a lot of my footage in my previous videos that I did play this map quite a bit, or I've played this map quite a bit. But of course, yeah, this map's just a lot of fun. And I mean, Black Ops 1 as a whole is just a lot of fun. Anyway, I'll see you Muppets in the next one. Peace.